Hi, welcome everyone to another Learn, Grow, Invest meeting. Today we're going to be continuing our entrepreneurship series by talking to a YouTuber. We're going to hear his story of how he went from 0 to 20,000 subscribers in just an amazingly short time. So, if you've thought about starting a YouTube channel or you've started it but you're not really getting the kind of growth you're looking for, this is the video that you want to watch. So at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we're more than just investing. We want to help you, build and grow as an entrepreneur as well. So if you've always been interested in starting your own YouTube channel, or you're interested in running a startup or content creation, all of those topics we will be covering at some point on this channel. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. As usual for our meetings, so we're going to open with a word of prayer. So let us pray. Lord, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for this community. Bless us, Lord, as we come to learn and to become better investors in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So I have the opportunity to introduce just an awesome friend of mine, would have met a few years back, and I've watched him, build his YouTube channel from pretty much nothing. So, please welcome C-Jam. C-Jam is that, yeah.
Hey, what's up? Good evening, everyone. Everybody in the Learn, Grow, Invest Club. Good evening. Thank you for having me, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing. I hinted to C-Jam that I'd want him to join me for an episode a while back, and he didn't really hesitate when I said, "Hey, we're ready." So, this is it. So tell us a little bit about L.E.A.R.N, share photo video before we begin. Tell us a little bit about your history. Who are you for our audience to know?
Well, excuse me. My name is Christopher James. Some people call me C-Jam, and I am a photographer, graphic designer, and videographer, and I've been doing that for over 12 years, and that's how I acquired the skill sets that I have now that I teach on my YouTube channel, which are the same things: photography, videography, and graphic designing. And I teach everything that goes along with that. So for example, graphic designing, that's Photoshop. Photography, tips for photographers, how to become a photographer. And the same thing applies to videography. So that's who I am, and that's how I got started in or that's how I'm on the path that I am now with my YouTube channel, because I've acquired those skill sets and I've just decided to just share that along that same path.
Okay, so tip one for everybody: stick to what you know, right? So when you're doing your YouTube channel, focus on what you're already good at. I mean, you can definitely learn and add things as you go, but if you start with what you're naturally good at, then it's easier to create content, which content creation is one of the hardest things to do as a content creator, right? Go figure. So, all right, cool. So how did you, specifically start on YouTube? Like, what was the inspiration that led to it? What was that, turning point for you?
Well, the inspiration to do it came from just, left out something important. I'm a Christian content creator. I'm a Christian first, YouTuber, videographer, everything second and third. So it came from how I started, how I decided to start sharing. It came from just a longing to help people. It also came from that longing to help people and to share what I know, because people used to always ask me how to do stuff. And especially as someone who is just, as a creative in whatever field you're in, if you want to learn something, you head to YouTube, right? So I found myself, as I'm sure a lot of us can relate here, just consuming a whole lot of YouTube content, regardless of it's being to sharpen your skill set or whatever it is. We're just consuming a whole lot of YouTube. And this was 10 years ago, before YouTube was as dominant as it is now. So just watching YouTube and then realizing that, hey, if you want to help people, like YouTube is a very cool way to do it. And
Yeah.
I had the idea for like 3 years before I started. So I've been just like, so it's like God has just been telling me, like the Holy Spirit is just telling me that, hey, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't want to be on camera. So
Yeah.
it's basically just being obedient, helping people. It's something that will always be there, as long as the internet is there and as long as YouTube is there. So I think that, well, my philosophy, well, not really a philosophy. I just believe that as a creative, as a photographer, videographer, whatever you are in life, you can't get all the clients in the world, right? That's impossible. So why not just help somebody get some clients in whatever it is that you're good at? Because as I
Yeah.
said, you can't get all the clients in the world, right? I will not shoot all the clients in Jamaica, like do their photo shoot. So why not help somebody to become a better photographer to get some of that clientele, right? There's a piece of the pie for everyone to have. So that's just how I look at it. And I can't say, I've never said, oh, I don't want to make this video because this person is going to watch it and get better at it than I am, or take away my clients, or take away my views. There are 8 billion people in the world. You're just one person.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you think you can reach all of those 8 billion people, then, I mean, you're
So
ambitious. That's good.
yeah. So what you're saying reminds me of something I heard, and I'm gonna credit. I think her name is Krista Forbes. She says this on a live I was watching a few months back. She's like, if you're at level 4 and you can help somebody from levels 1 to 4, then you have a market. Even if you're at level 1, help people at level 0 and level 1.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything that you're capable of doing in real life, somebody would watch a video of you teaching them how to do it too on YouTube, right?
Exactly.
So there's that. And I mean, a lot of what YouTube is about is for entertainment as well. I mean, we're both not in entertainment, we're in education, because you do tutorials, we do the same thing here. But there's also, if you don't feel good at anything, there's the entertainment space where you can make people laugh. And as we say, our Jamaican YouTuber now, Julie Mango doing really well with her content. Like everybody has seen a Julie Mango video by now.
Yes.
So shout out to her as well. So what was the very first video that you published? And tell us, do you remember the date that you published it? Like, what was that first experience like, hitting publish?
Hitting publish. It was very, very nerve-wracking. It was in May. It was in May 2017. I think it was the beginning of May, something like the 4th or 5th or something like that. That's 4 years now. Well, but it was very stressful, like just clicking upload. But yeah, it was in May. It was in May 2017, and the first video I uploaded was I made 3 videos: how to become a photographer, everything that I've been mentioning, photographer, videographer, and graphic designer, how to become those, right? And I just uploaded them all at once. So those were the first videos I did. But the very, very, very first one was how to become a photographer in May 2017.
And that's based on what you know how to do. So you're telling people how to do something that you already know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So did you start out with a strategy? Did you say, okay, I'm going to do X number of videos per week, I'm going to choose, these topics? What was that first few months, right? So you uploaded the first video, what came next?
It definitely wasn't anything that you just mentioned. There was no strategy. As I touched on briefly earlier, I just made the 3 videos. I just planned them, made them, and just like uploaded them all at once. And then I just hoped for the best. So there was no like proper research. Well, the only research I did was like what to put in the video, but as far as like strategy going, like a release strategy or anything like that, it was nothing like that. Just made the 3 videos, uploaded them, and the channel was born.
Okay, so that there's another tip in there for you guys. Think about a content strategy before you upload that first video. So that thing that Christopher said he just did, it uploaded 3 videos at once.
Mhm.
That's a bad idea. You can upload them all at once, but schedule them for different days, right? I think you can upload maybe as much as 7 videos in one day, but it would be better if you release, those 3 videos on 3 separate days, maybe 2 or 3 days apart, or even stretch them out one per week, right? So that way you have 3 weeks worth of content as opposed to one day, right? Because so that's something that many content creators could benefit from there. So, all right. So from that point, you release those first set of videos. What was the turning point, right? So at some point you would have, broken through. At some point you'd have said, okay, let me take this more seriously. Take us from that first point, that first day, to when you started to kind of double down on content, and what was that process like?
Well, it's a little bit of a rocky journey getting to where I decided to start taking it seriously. So I uploaded those first 3 videos in 2017. That was it. In the middle of the year, nothing else. 2018, I came back and uploaded 3 more. 2019, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then
that sounds familiar.
And then at the end of 2019, I was like, there was a video that I had that was getting some traction, like how to become a videographer. That one was really picking up, right? And I decided, hey, like, the last time I looked at the channel, it sounds so weird. The last time I looked at the channel, that video had 300 and something views. That was the highest viewed video on my channel. But then
300 is awesome for a new YouTuber. 300, you feel like, yes, it's gonna go to 10,000 quickly, right?
And then at the time, everything had like less than 100 for like a year or so. And then the how to become a videographer video just like started climbing. It had like, I remember when it passed 1,000 views, then it passed like 5,000, and I'm like, what? And I remember like after 2019, when I didn't upload and I just logged back in to check the channel, and I realized it was at like 12,000 views, and I'm like, what? I'm not even uploading. So then that just like give me the kick I need. I was like, all right, there's something here. I used the end of the year in 2019 to like start planning some new videos. And then I remember January 26th, 2020, I had filmed a video and I was about to upload it. And I uploaded it, that was the Sunday, but I decided to upload it the Monday instead. And that was when I started to saying like, hey, all right, I'm going to keep at this, the weekly schedule, as you so rightly mentioned, Jeremy, like getting a video once a week and stuff. And then the turning point, like the turning point came when I just jumped on my personal Instagram and said, hey, would any of you guys be interested in like a Photoshop tutorial? Because I was pushing the videography and the photography, but I was also really good at graphic designing. And this is not just me saying it. Like people actually tell me I'm good at graphics over the years. Jeremy can tell you.
Yeah. So remember, you designed a flyer for me when I was, running for
student president.
Yeah.
So I decided to make that Photoshop tutorial based on the views or the votes. On Instagram you can do the poll, yes or no.
Yeah.
And I think I got 23 votes and one person said no. And that crushed me. I was like, but 22 people said yes.
The 22 people said yes, one said
one
no.
Person
so
said
it's
no.
like it's like that 22 likes, one dislike. You feel like that one dislike is just really bad. Yeah.
So I just decided to say, all right, 22 people wants to see a Photoshop video. Let me get this Photoshop video done. And did the Photoshop video, and it's like God was just waiting for me to just be obedient and just like do the Photoshop video.
Yeah.
And because I have it written down in a little book. I don't know where that book is right now. But when I initially got the idea for the YouTube channel, I had it there. Like I had 10 videos, 10 ideas, and one of them was how to use Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize at the time when I did that video that the way I titled that video in terms of keywords and such, you know, in terms of YouTube analytics, what will rank in search. And that just means like you should title your video based on something that you like, in such a way that you think about it like, how would someone type this in the YouTube search?
Exactly.
If someone wants to know how to change their car tire, like say an unassuming young lady. Not saying that an unassuming young lady doesn't know how to change a car tire, but for
an
argument,
unassuming person would like, there you go.
Yeah, an unassuming person, how to change a car tire. How would that person search for that on YouTube?
Yeah.
How to change my car tire by myself, right? So I literally made that video like and titled it "How to Use Adobe Photoshop." As simple as that. And then I had another phrase beside it: graphic design tutorial for beginners. It was just as simple as that. And that video blew up. Like I think it has. Go ahead.
So before you go any further, I want persons to understand, like, your video was not the first Photoshop tutorial ever on YouTube.
It wasn't.
And a lot of times persons think, well, many persons have made that type of video before. Why should I make it? You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
there are hundreds of thousands of Photoshop tutorials on YouTube already. And yet I think the last time I checked, 422,000 views is what it had. So 422,000 times somebody has watched your video, even though there are 100,000 other videos just like yours there. So that, again, is another point I want to land, because persons may think that there's so many persons doing, even take our channel, you know, Learn, Grow, Invest. You may say, well, you know, so many persons are doing investment content already. Like we could have said, you know, there are persons in the local space already doing the same thing. Why should we do it? Exactly. But then there are persons who, when you start getting feedback that, hey, this was helpful, hey, this was great, you know, thanks for doing this, you're like, well, cool, I'm glad I did it because I'm helping at least one person.
And just to touch on that point, Jermaine, like that you said one person may need it. It's good to ask. Like if you just have 10 people following you, just ask, like, what do you want to see? Like, right? If people know that you're uploading videos on YouTube, like, is there a specific video you want to see from me? Let me know.
Yeah.
And people will respond.
Yeah, you know what? Something that my wife always says, you know, when we look at our channel and how we have grown, at the point of recording this video, we have 1,500 rather subscribers. She's like imagine a room. Exactly. She's like, imagine a room with 1,500 people. That's a lot of people. But sometimes we see, you know, 1,500. We're like, that's small. That's still a lot of persons you're reaching. So even if you have 100 views, that's still 100 persons you've reached. That's a lot of persons. Just keep making good content and, you know, you'll get there.
Like, it's know that you say it like that. When I think about it, like the same video that we're talking about, my Photoshop video, and just like any other video, even if it's just 100 views, like, as you rightly said, being in a room with 100 people and they're all looking at you, listening to what you're saying, that's enough. Or even 10 people, that's enough for you to continue doing and continue helping those 10 people. Like, as you rightly said, if one person is there with you and you're pouring into that person, that's enough for you to like keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So the key, you know, topic for this video is, you know, building momentum on YouTube, right? We want to take the person who has started their YouTube channel, going on for a while, but they're not really figuring out how to get to that next step. You know, a lot of YouTubers are there for years sometimes and not even able to get to the first milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Well, technically the first milestone is 100, because at 100 subscribers you can name your channel, which a lot of persons don't take the time to do.
URL,
if you have 100 subscribers, please name your channel. It's a lot easier than saying, you know, youtube.com/ that like 40 different characters, instead of saying youtube.com/ Learn, Grow, Invest. So you should name your channel when you get to 100 subscribers. But for most, you know, persons, most small YouTubers, they think of one thing. They want to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So, how do you get to that point? What would be your strategy or your recommendation based on that?
Getting to 1,000 subscribers is way easier than getting to 4,000 watched hours, 4,000
Yeah.
hours of watch time. 4,000 hours of watch time for me came after 3 years. 1,000 subscribers came after 3 years as well, and it's not 3 years of YouTube because, as I said earlier, it was just like 3 videos here, 3 videos there. But it came after like 4 months of like weekly uploads. 4 months,
Yeah.
and I was on YouTube for 3 years. So if you are like putting out the content, like truly you content, like Jermaine is good at investing and investment tips, right? We're on the Learn, Grow, Invest Club, right? So he's talking about that. I'm good at Photoshop. I'm talking about that on the other creative stuff. You're not gonna see me on my channel talking about investing. I'm not good at that. I cannot make the quality or the type of or the valuable videos like what Jermaine makes on Learn, Grow, Invest. I can't do that. That's not my thing. So find what you're good at, make content relating to that topic or that area, and then just like multiply it. You'll have ideas once you start. As I said, I started with 10 video ideas written down on a piece of paper, and like I have a long list now of potential
Yeah.
videos. Once you're starting and you're being true to you and true to what you're good at, people realize that, hey, you're really good at this. I've never in my 12 years of being a graphic designer have people walk up to me in person and say, hey, you're a good graphic designer. But when I started my YouTube channel, like hundreds of people are commenting and saying, hey, this guy is really good, right? So people see that you're good at what you do, and make no mistake, they will definitely call you out if you're a fake at what you're attempting to do. So
Yeah.
be uniquely you, and you'll definitely find your voice.
All right. Thank you. So, what I'll just say as well, it, something I heard again somebody else say is that try to get to your first 100 videos. I know it may sound like a lot. Try to get to your first 100 videos consistently, at least one per week, before you start to measure how well you're doing. And 100 sounds like, 100 weeks. If you do one per week, that's 2 years. I mean, you said it happened in
Exactly.
3. And you pretty much missed 1 year because 2019
I didn't even log in.
you didn't do anything. So I mean, if you think about it, if you find something you're good at or some things you're good at, write down 100 ideas. And there's a tip that I'll share here as well, since we're talking about that. What I do is I look at what people are talking about. So for us, we're on Twitter in terms of that's our main focus in terms of social platform outside of YouTube. And what I do is I look at what people are talking about. So I'm looking at the conversation. So if you are running, let's say that you're selling shoes, you want to look on social media, what are people asking about shoes? Where can I buy shoes? What are the best prices? Where are the best places? That's already 3 video ideas right there. And then you can just, build something around that main central thing that you're good at. And as I said, if you'd be interested in it and you can find at least one person that's interested in it, then the rest you can, break down to a process and you'll get there. So I want, before we move forward though, I wanted to, so when you started to realize that the video was taking off, did something change for you in terms of strategy, right? Because at some point you must have noticed, well, because I remember, I think you went from like 1,000 to 5,000 within like 2 weeks, and then from 5 to, I remember you were releasing those videos. I was like, didn't you just get to
I think that the jump from 1,000 to 5,000 was really quick.
Yeah. So what was that process like? Because I mean, how do you, the term that I like to use is double down. So when you found something that works, how do you double down to get to, like, how did you go from 1,000 to 23,000?
God is good. Nothing that I have done. In regards to when I realized that the video was working, somebody who I follow, I think you follow too, Sean Cannell,
Yeah,
he
man.
always
Yeah.
says
Think
that,
media. Yeah.
yeah, they always say that success leaves clues, right? And what I realized, the first comment that I got on that video, one of the first comments was, "Can't wait for part two." So immediately, like, I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do, or what can I do for a Photoshop part two video, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, I was getting comments on previous videos, but like when I released that video, I was getting so many comments so quickly. So those were the clues, and I paid attention, right? Yeah, I don't think personally that I'm really like jumping on it as I should, but because I had noticed like people are liking the Photoshop videos, like I have 12 Photoshop videos on my channel. 12. I don't have any other area or subject area like that with so many parts to that subject area. So like that's what's working for me. I based off of like the analytics, as I mentioned, the comments, the likes, the feedback, the views. That's all the analytics are. You're just paying attention to the metrics, right? It's nothing to worry about or nothing to overthink. So I paid attention to that and realized that, hey, this video is like doing really good and I need to do more of this. Like that cycle is working, just like keep it going, right?
Yeah.
And I think that video, I remember when I hit 5,000 subscribers. At the time when I looked at the analytics or the statistics for my channel, like 3,800 of those 5,000 subscribers were from that Photoshop part one video. And remember, I was on YouTube for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I did that video after 3 years. So in the space of a couple months, that video like grew my subscriber count by like a huge percentage. I don't even know the number.
3,800%.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a thing I want you guys to take from this, right? So you'd have realized that that particular topic is doing well, so you did more of it. So there's this thing that YouTube does where it tries to figure out when your channel is new. YouTube is trying to figure out what your channel is about. So it looks at the topics for your videos. It looks at what content people respond to. So when you search for something and they display those results, if persons click on your video as a result of what they search for, then YouTube says, okay, for Photoshop, Learn Share Photo Video is the channel. And then what it starts doing, if persons are watching other channels with Photoshop, they're going to recommend that video on Photoshop. If you're watching anything to do with Adobe, they're going to recommend that video. So, I mean, I thought that a lot of the work was on my side to grow our channel, but there's a lot that YouTube actually does for you as well. When you look at the analytics, it's just that it takes you a while to get that visibility because it wants to be sure that your content is quality. So it's not going to just, put it there automatically. Persons have to like the video, persons have to share the video, which is why we always ask for it. So if you're watching this video right now, liking it actually helps us because it says to YouTube, well, you have persons who like this video about growing your YouTube channel. All right, we'll show it to more people because these who are watching it like it. So we'll show it to more, and as more people keep liking it, it gets shown to more. So when a YouTuber asks for a like, a comment, and a subscribe, that means the world to them. That's sometimes even greater than money. Like, get them those three things, and it will do a great thing for them. All right. So what are some of the common mistakes? So when you spend time on YouTube and you see a new YouTuber, what are maybe 3 common mistakes that you see that you'd say at least, don't do these things or stay away from these things?
If you're a new YouTuber or you're wanting to come onto YouTube to share your passion, the first thing I would say is do not do it for the money. Like, yes, there's potential to earn, but If that's your main driving force, trust me, you're going to burn out. You're going to fail. Not that you won't eventually start making money, because once you're meeting the
Yeah.
metrics, you will make money. But you lose your passion very quickly. So don't come onto
You lose
YouTube
your passion before you start making money.
before you start making videos. Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't come on YouTube just to make money. And secondly, I would say don't join YouTube solely to be called a YouTuber. Like, as we've been saying throughout this show so far, throughout this live, you should do it because you want to help someone. Like, you genuinely want to share what you know to help someone, right? So you, as we
Yeah.
mentioned, you can't pretend like you know something, because people will call you out for it. And and finally, I would say the last mistake I see people make is not putting in the work, right? It's
And you
not
can
just
tell,
about pressing upload. Go
you
ahead,
can
go
tell
ahead.
when somebody is not doing the work.
Yeah,
Like it shows.
it
It
shows.
shows. Yeah. So
Yeah, it
it's
shows.
not about the length of the video.
Nope.
It's not that it needs to be long. Now our channel specifically would have longer content. And that's because we're doing it's sort of like teaching. We're teaching somebody how to do something. It takes a different length of video. Now, one of the things that a lot of people think, if you do a shorter video, you'll get more views. And I say to persons all the time, I've done a 2-minute video and persons watch 10 seconds. So
Exactly.
it's not the length of the video, it's the content. Like, you know, the first minute of a video is extremely important, because they're gonna look at it and say, well, you know, before this guy even starts to speak, I don't want to hear him, because, you know, I don't like how his hair looks, or his background is too dark. Like it's little things. And then once he starts speaking, I'm like, do I believe him? Is he saying something that I can trust? Those are the things that they're paying attention to. If it is you value the video, because I've watched, you know, we mentioned Think Media. Think Media has like a complete guide for like an hour and a half. I'd stay and watch the hour and a half because I'm interested in that content. So I mean, that's how you should look at it. So shorter, what I would say, you know, since you shared yours, shorter doesn't necessarily mean more views. Like, just bear that in mind. And I mean, apart from that, I would just say, you know, work on your thumbnails. That's
Yes.
what I'd
And
say,
that's a part of the
because
work. It's not about just recording the video.
yeah,
It's like plan. If we were to just like skim over it, it's like planning the video, plan and research, like record the video, edit the video, like prepare the video for upload, which includes the thumbnail, as you so rightly said.
yeah,
And then uploading that video. Well, no, before you upload it, you have to like make sure all the description is right, all the supportive information that will support the video that you're uploading is in the description, where people can find you, etc., etc. Like, that's what we mean with it. Put in the work. If you like skim over any of those steps, you will feel it in how people like react to that video in terms of
exactly.
views, likes, comments, whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, shout out to Paige, who is here. You know, naturally, Paige, check out her channel. It's pretty cool. So that the hurdle, I think, for a YouTuber is getting person. So if the first thing is to pop up in the search results, that's step one. Once they see your thumbnail, that's step two.
Yep.
So I mean, if you can overcome those two things. So what I do is look at our most successful video, what those thumbnails are like, what's different about them, what makes, specifically, I'm looking at the click-through rate for my video. So go to your analytics, go to your most successful video in terms of click-through rate, and try to make more of your thumbnails like that one. So ideally, I mean, the average click-through rate is maybe 3 to 5%. If you have anything higher than 7.5%, that is awesome.
Yeah,
Just
that's so
make more
true.
thumbnails like that one. Exactly.
Because
So even
the
for
first thing.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, even for your, you know, Photoshop thumbnail that has 400,000 views, that probably had maybe like 2 million impressions or 3 million impressions, right? Because it's not 400,000 views, 400,000 click click through.
Yeah.
It's a lot more technical than that, because a lot of persons would have to see that thumbnail to actually click on it for you to get that view. So thumbnails are just extremely important. Like if you do nothing else, change, exactly what Paige is saying. So I find simple is good. Make sure that persons can read what's on the thumbnail. I like when there's a good image. So sometimes the image can tell the story of what the video is about without even using words.
Yeah.
So those things can help. So apart from those mistakes, what are now? Let's focus on 3 things that they should do and should do consistently. What are the 3 things that they should do over and over again until they start seeing some progress?
Research your videos, like plan properly. Because obviously you can't just go sit in front of the camera and press record. You're just going to be staring there. So, so just have some kind of idea of what you want to record, what you want to put out there into the world. Put in the work, as we just discussed. And based off all that we just discussed, you know what the work is. And as Paige is rightly saying, that comment on the screen, like thumbnails, that's a huge part of it, because your thumbnail is actually the first thing that viewers see, your potential viewers see, right? When you're scrolling on YouTube, a lot of times the reason why you click on stuff is because the thumbnail is catching without you even realizing it. So your thumbnail is what's speaking for you before people even watch your video. So put in the work, thumbnail included, and consistency. If you're going to stick to, as Jermaine has been saying, and as we've proven, both of us as YouTubers, if you're going to stick to a schedule, like 1 video a week is very acceptable for just starting out, or even for us, we still do 1 video a week, even though sometimes I miss my uploads. But 1 video a week is a very sustainable strategy. And just stick to it. Keep expectancy up from your viewers, and they'll be there on the channel waiting for you to upload. So when you're starting out, that's very important. Consistency, putting in the work, and plan and research your videos. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I mean, I would say that the thing that I would say is actually don't get discouraged. Like that's a tip that I want to start with first, because life will happen. You may have some seasons where you're not doing any videos, work may be catching up with your family life, especially for those of us who are married, and it can get a little crazy.
I was just reminded of something. My wife just texted me and said I should mention that after 3 years after I started the channel, like when I was restarting back in 2020, I went back and updated some thumbnails. So that's how important those thumbnails, important thumbnails are. Because after you've been researching your videos and like researching like how to get more views and such, you'll automatically learn that your thumbnail is one of the most important things. So go ahead.
So I mean, if you think about it, then the reasons why we chose YouTube for our community, I think 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, our videos will still be here.
Exactly.
But as persons' tastes and preferences change, you update the thumbnail based on what persons are looking for. So I've seen persons whose content I'm subscribed to change their title and their thumbnail. So one good strategy that works are the videos that are topical, or as in related to the year. So if we have, manage your budget for 2021, when 2022 comes, I can change that title and that thumbnail, and it's now relevant again for that year. So there are little things that you can do that can help you. So that's why I said don't get discouraged, right? Because the videos will always be there. Just keep making content consistently. Make the type of content that fits your lifestyle. So if you're busy and you have 30 minutes per week only, I would just go live for 15 minutes and spend 15 minutes optimizing the video. Like, so that was a part of our secret. We started going live because instead of editing the video, having to upload to YouTube, I just hit go live,
Exactly.
and this platform does the work for me. So I don't have to edit this video.
Yep.
That saves me time, because editing, as you know, can take a bulk
A
of your
lot
time.
of time. Trust me.
Exactly. So, I mean, those are the things that work. So, I mean, just don't get discouraged. That's the main thing I would say. Everything else you learn with time, just everything that you said, the research, consistency, putting in the work, do not be discouraged to that. And I think, persons can make it. All right, so we're going to be taking questions from the audience soon. I have one last question for you. Is how can persons contact you? So I've seen you put out like some classes or tutorials that persons can sign up for. So what are some of the things that persons can learn through Learn, Share, Photo, Video?
What you can learn, as we've been mentioning, is like video editing tips, photography, photo editing tips, graphic designing, all of that you can find on YouTube, obviously, youtube.com/learn, share, photo, video. Or you can head over to my website, learnsharephotovideo.com, as Jermaine mentioned, for classes if you're interested in learning any one of those particular skill sets to forward yourself in starting your own YouTube channel, or maybe you want to be a creative person as a profession, right? So my website is learnsharephotovideo.com. I'm sure Jermaine will probably put something in the description, but
Yeah, man. Doing that now.
and as well as on social media, Instagram, Facebook, at Learn, Share, Photo, as well as Twitter, at Learn, Share, Photo. But on YouTube, Learn, Share, Photo, Video, because, character limit. But
So
once you type in, go ahead.
So you're saying that persons can get one-on-one classes with you?
Yes, from my website. Yeah, it's there. learnsharephotovideo.com/classes if you want the direct link. But once you go on the website, you will see it. It's there.
Yeah, and I mean, so if you plan to use Photoshop to work on thumbnails, edit your thumbnails, you definitely want to watch those 2 tutorials. Well, I would watch all of the videos, because I mean, my wife does our thumbnails. She watched your videos. Ultimately, we decided to not use Photoshop because we're like, this is too massive of an application. But the thing is, we watched that tutorial and we're like, whoa, he makes it look so easy. Maybe we should start using Photoshop. But to optimize our process, we're like, no, let's stick to Canva. Canva works well. It gets it done easily. But there is a certain quality and level to your photos, to your thumbnails, everything that you do. I'm like, man, maybe I should start using Photoshop as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, let's take some questions now. I'm scrolling through. The first one I see is, how do you name your channel? That's the first one that I'm seeing. Guys, if you have questions as YouTubers, now is the time to ask. Shout out to Jace. I say I am Remnant Jehi in the comments.
I think this question came in, Jeremy, when you were talking about the
100
subscribers, and you mentioned you can name your channel. I think that's probably what they're asking about. Probably.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember where to go. Do you remember? I think you just go to if you go to YouTube Studio, there's a section, I think, on the configuration. Let me maybe do a quick check.
Yeah, it's under YouTube Studio.
Yeah.
Under YouTube Studio, and then, well, actually, when you go on your channel, when you're logged in, you'll see a button on the main page that says Customize Channel, and then it's under Basic Info.
There you go. Yep. All right, cool. Let me see if there are any other questions. A few persons are, giving you shout outs. I see you responded to most of them already. All All right, cool. So I'm not seeing any other questions. Alex was just speaking about his journey. So Alex, how far along are you now? How many subscribers, how many videos done? What's the hardest challenge? Well, yeah, let's hear from everybody. What's the hardest challenge for your YouTube channel right now? Just the single greatest challenge that you're having, and let's see if we can give some feedback on it. That'd probably be good for us to comment on, and then we can wrap up. Yeah, so I know one of the things I saw, and since Paige is here, I can mention with her channel, there was a video that she did, I think, about her wedding. And when I saw the videos, I think the title was Beautiful Jamaican Wedding. And I was like, the title has Jamaica in it and wedding. I know that video is going to do really well. And if I'm not mistaken, that's probably still Paige, is that the best video on your channel right now, the Jamaican wedding?
It's number 2. I'm looking at it.
It's number 2. Okay. All right. So Denison is saying he's named his YouTube channel but can't seem to find it when you Google it under that name. So if you're not finding it, if you've named it but you're not finding it, I'm wondering if that's maybe just the number of times persons have searched for it in that name. So remember, YouTube is also a search engine. So one of the things we do is we put the tag Learn, Grow, Invest for every video that we do. So you want to put Apex Racing for every video that you do. So when you search for it, it will come up in the results. I think that answers it. So the next question is, what if you're interested in doing a lot of things and you want to do all 3? All right, I'll let you take that one first. Dijam, what would you say to Christopher?
What if you're in? I would say pick one. Pick one. It's best to find the formula with one first, and then you can repeat it with another channel, or maybe branch off into another topic on your channel. Because I think even you, Jermaine, you did the same thing, right? You had all these channels, and then you just really zeroed in on what's working, right?
Yeah.
So I think you can just finish onto that as well.
Yeah. So what I've seen, and this is one of the things I realize with us YouTubers, sometimes we stretch ourselves very thin. So what I started to do with Learn, Grow, Invest, I focus on one platform in terms of social media. I focus on one type of content. So the focus now is trying to optimize this channel for the word stock. So our last 10 or so videos have the word stock in the title. And that's because when somebody searches for the word stock, I want us to be one of the first channels that come up. So what I would say to Christopher, if it's vocals, gaming, and tech, whichever one you would love to do every day when you wake up, choose that one first, build out that channel. Because think about it, if you have 100,000 subscribers on a gaming channel, you can start a channel on vocals and you can get maybe 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers easy, moving over to that next one. But to try to build all 3 at the same time, or one channel with 3 different topics, is going to be hard.
And
so,
gaming and tech can go together.
Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true.
With gaming and tech, with the direction the world is going today, it's a sure hit for success.
Yeah.
Like once you put in the work.
Yeah. So I would just, double down on one or combine, as Christopher is saying, and wait till you get at least 100 videos down, and then you can see where you are from there. So that's what I would say. I mean, if you want to, I can probably just, send us a message. I can probably have a look at your channel for you and, give you some tips based on the analytics if you want. But yeah, so, okay. Yes, I see Paige saying that. So I did notice most of our earlier videos were about natural hair and then she started to do,
And drag
Mama
your page.
Mondays and Wifey Wednesdays and stuff like that. There you go. The end. She's saying she burned out really quick. And so the good thing about Paige that I see for her, which for us we are trying to build, is that Paige has an audience already on Instagram.
Yes, she does.
So that is actually a great way to drive traffic to your YouTube channel. So what I would do, I mean, and this is unsolicited advice, Paige is not asking me this, but I mean, what we're doing is building up our social platform. So I would actually, I've already gone to a certain amount of videos on YouTube. In Paige's case, I would just focus on building Instagram, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 followers. And then it's now easier to get people over to YouTube because I think, you have a certain amount of videos there. Update the thumbnails, ensure that the descriptions are set, and just build on Instagram and then just send people over. So that's what we're doing for Twitter right now. So we're focusing on just, growing our audience on Twitter. And then at some point we'll start asking, persons to go over, but we can't do it at 2,000 followers, 5,000 followers. That's still small based on how the algorithm works. Because think of reaching only 1% of your audience. So if you have 1,000 followers on IG, about 10 people are going to go to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and you raised a very good point, Jermaine. She has a strong following on one social platform, and it's very easy to ask those people from your social platform to just say, hey, come see what I'm doing on YouTube. That translates much, much better than being on YouTube and saying, hey, come see what I'm doing on all these social platforms. So Paige actually has a very good advantage so far. So I think it will translate eventually and quickly too. I don't think it will take long.
Yeah. And I mean that can help you delay the burnout, right? Because if imagine trying to maintain IG, and from what I can tell, Paige posts on IG every day. So posting on IG, then uploading the YouTube video, then editing the thumbnail, publishing that, responding to all the comments. That's 2 jobs. That's 2 jobs. Yeah. So I would go live. So if we probably will have to take the social media tips to another video. So maybe we can come back for another video and just talk about the social media aspect. But I would definitely focus on one, build up a strong audience there before you start, telling them to go over to YouTube. But keep doing the videos, because they'll always be there. Focus on doing them well, and just keep going until you get that breakthrough. So are there any more questions? No. So Paige, you have excellent content, so it's only a matter of time. What I do as well, once I see a video doing really well, it still doesn't help me from marketing that video. So even though you have 80,000 views, I would still, hey, remember that video I shared? Go and check it out again. So get it featured in the paper. Talk about it on the radio. Do whatever you can, because that 80,000 can get to 200,000, 300,000, a million. And then with more views comes more subscribers. So,
and looking at Paige's channel, like her view to subscriber count, her videos are doing very well. Very well. Very well.
So maybe we should do that in a CJ, just like some YouTube reviews, right?
Right? Because Paige actually looks like she has the formula down.
Yeah.
Like it's the views are there. The views are not the issue, Paige. I can tell you that. Views are not the issue.
Yeah.
Maybe. I was gonna say maybe it's because I remember she's saying earlier that she's gonna revisit the thumbnails. Maybe what you can do now is just actually incorporating, I'm sure you have a setup that you can take good pictures, right? So for every video you do, shoot a really cool
she's
photo
married to a
as a thumbnail. And she's married to a photographer. Yes. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up the show. Paige is stressing us out.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just like doing every bit of piece of content, the thumbnail. I see you mentioned like you use snippets of the old video to boost them on IG. So while you're
Yeah.
editing the video to post on YouTube, work in that snippet at the same time. So you're hitting with fresh content on YouTube and on your social platforms. So
Yeah.
that's I think you have the Paige wins by
Yeah,
default. Definitely.
she has a formula, man. She has a formula. So yeah, I mean, this was a very, very good conversation. I thought it just kind of flowed. Maybe we should definitely talk about this stuff more.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that we can, do this collaboration. It's definitely something that I want to do more of, because again, it kind of, when we talk about investment here, I don't want persons to think we're just talking about stocks. It's more than, so I want to teach, persons how to build additional income streams, which YouTube has the potential to be. But as you said, you can't start with thinking about the money.
Exactly.
If you start with thinking money first, you're gonna get worn down before you actually start making the money. So that's what I'd say. But if you remember nothing else, if you've made it this far, remember to be consistent. It's better to do a 5 or 10-minute video once a week, every week, than trying to do a 30 or 45-minute video per week. Like, scale it down. If you normally cover 5 topics, cover 1 per video, and that's at least something that you're putting out each week. So, consistency is the number one feedback that would both have for you. And I mean, just keep going. Keep going. All right. Any final thoughts, CJAM, that you wanted to leave them with before we go?
You can do it. You can all do it. It's just planning, proper planning. What's the saying? Is it proper planning prevents poor performance? Is that what it is?
I don't remember it, but yeah, it's something like that.
Something like that. But it all comes down to planning and research. You can all do it. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's just hitting the simple steps. It's multiple steps, but they're all really simple, right? So think of it in a multi-step pattern rather than just like trying to just do a YouTube channel and have it blow up.
Yeah.
Just keep putting in the little works, as we've been saying through this entire show.
And be grateful for where you are. Like,
exactly.
if you're reaching 100 persons, try to reach 105, but be grateful for that 100. Because as I said, just imagine 100 people in front of you, like my wife would say, watching your videos. That's still a lot of persons, right? So, all right, guys, thank you so much for being here. We are actually, so if you are interested in investing, that's what this channel is primarily about. But we're talking about investing in your YouTube channel. So that's pretty much what this topic was about. We will cover more topics about entrepreneurship, running your own business, starting your own business, marketing, social media, all of that stuff will come soon. So, definitely subscribe if you're interested in that type of content. Let me know if you found value in this topic. This is the first time we're talking about YouTube content. So let me know in the comments below if you found this useful, and share the name of your YouTube channel in the comments. So I promise I'll check them out, and I'll give you at least 1 tip. So if you leave a comment with the name of your channel, I'll visit it and give you 1 tip. How is that? I think that's reasonable, right?
That's very reasonable. Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.